Overwhelm can kill your results. Well, it creates anxiety, it creates fear, it creates analysis, paralysis, it creates all these problems. And especially when you are trying to make a drastic change in your life. So the question becomes, well, how do you overcome those? How do you overcome this overwhelm? And especially if you are looking online and you're seeing these influencers and they're like, well, you have to do, like, here is your perfect morning routine, and it's going to take you 7.5 hours, and it requires, a full ice bath and a sauna, and then gratitude, and then breath work, and then all the things under the sun. And you look at it and go, well, fuck, I don't have time for this. And you get overwhelmed. And you're like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to toss it all in. And it is a hard one. It is one that I also battle with, because I know the benefits of a lot of those things. I know the benefits of sauna and ice bath and breath work and gratitude and, reading your 10 pages and journaling and on it goes. I have done bits and pieces of those in my life. I've had, blessed periods in my life when I didn't have as much on my plate, and I had a quite extensive morning routine. The problem being that it's not practical and sustainable when, life gets busy, when life gets full on, when, you become a man who has things on his plate. The second I became a father, the second I was working full time back in the gym, all those kinds of things, I didn't have that luxury time. I didn't have those times to dedicate to those kinds of things. I remember having a conversation with one of my friends about this, and they didn't have kids. And they were like, how important sleep is. You need to start prioritizing sleep. And really, I think you should get your morning routine back. And I was like, yeah, you are absolutely right. Except you have no concept of what it's like to have children. That's not within my control. That's not within my purview. I don't have the control of how much sleep I'm going to get, when I'm going to get woken up in the morning, when my day is going to start. I don't have that dichotomy over my life to be able to make those choices. So I do the best I can with what I have available. And I think that's a lot of what it is. Now, there is a fine line between the two of these. So obviously within my program, I believe and firmly commit to no days off. Zero choice mentality, that it's all in on these things. But I think I've picked the 5 that are going to deliver the most bang for your buck, that are going to transform the majority of your life, that are going to give you the really big leveling to your tools. And within that, I still know that there are some people who will be incapable of doing that. So this program isn't right for you at that stage. And that's okay as well. This is about chasing greatness. This is about making definitive choices. This is about making the choice on what truly matters to you. But what I found, and what I found from working with the guys that I do, with my clients, that to remove the overwhelm, you make it a zero choice mentality. I found more often than not, the overwhelm comes from too many choices, from too many options, from too many decisions that have to be made. One of my biggest gripes with If It Fits Your Macros is that people will make poor decisions around this. And they get decision fatigue, and then they fuck it up, and they go, fuck it. Who cares? Whereas if you make the parameters non-negotiable, but really fucking simple, it often makes it easier to stick to. That you've just made this decision of, this is what's happening. End of story. I'm showing up like this. This is the way I'm showing up. Done. No questions asked. Okay. And so within that, what we have, like especially for the nutrition side, is an animal-based diet. You can eat meat and fruit. Eggs fall under the meat category. That's it. If it doesn't fall under those two categories, you don't fucking eat it. It means you don't have to think about it. You don't have to, swim through the murky gray zones. You don't have to go, oh, does this work? Does this fit my eating plan? Because I find more often than not, that's where people fall down. Decision fatigue and finding loopholes in things. If you make it really simple, really clear, really straightforward, the overwhelm is reduced. It's not easier. Don't get me wrong, it's still hard. Like, you're still making a hard, definitive life choice. But it's simpler. It reduces the chance of overwhelm because you're just getting in and fucking getting it done. That's the difference. That you don't need to think about it. It's the same with the workouts. It's the same with the weighted walks. I don't have to contemplate where I'm at, how I feel, what choices I'm going to make. It's already decided. I know every single day that I open my eyes, that I get up in the morning, that I am going for a weighted walk and I'm doing a weighted workout. No questions asked. No thought process. Not what's it going to be today? What am I going to work on? And I've pre-programmed the workouts. And I just show the fuck up. As I said, this isn't easy. I'm not claiming that this is easy. This is fucking hard shit. It's why it's chasing greatness. It's why it delivers incredible results. It's about becoming the greatest version of yourself. It's about making disciplined choices when it isn't easy to do. But it removes the overwhelm and the decision fatigue because the decision's already made. You don't have to think these things through. You don't have to make decisions around this. It's just done. End of story. That's where the greatness comes from. That's where the chasing greatness comes from, because it becomes a zero choice mentality. It becomes the decision has already been made. You're just now following through. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to ask questions. You don't need to do any of that stuff. You just need to show the fuck up and do the work. So the 5 core principles that I think will astronomically change every single area of them if you commit to them, if you follow through and do the work, is every single day, no matter what, non-negotiable, zero choice mentality. You do a weighted workout. You do a weighted walk with 10% or more of your body weight. You eat an animal-based diet, meat and fruit, and that is it. You drink 4 liters of water and you take a daily photo. These things will change such a large portion of your life. It'll teach you discipline, it'll teach you grit, it'll teach you determination, it'll teach you follow through. It'll change your physique, it'll change your health, it'll change how you show up. It'll change so many areas of your life that it is phenomenal. And look, if you want to look at it purely from the physical point of view, on average, I'm getting guys who are losing between 7 and 15 kilos in 6 weeks in the initial phase of chasing greatness. I've had guys lose up to 20 kilos doing this. Game changer. Completely fucking game changing. But that's just the physical side. To be honest, that's the easy side. That's the stuff that just gets done. That's not to mention how they feel. That's not to mention how it has spiraled into every area of their life, how it's changed how they interact and they show up for work and show up for life and show up with their family, how they feel like they're in control, how they're gaining confidence and they're feeling empowered because of it. It doesn't include all those kinds of things. But a lot of the times, it creates freedom. And this is one a lot of people struggle with. And I have to admit, I was in that. I have to say, I was in that camp before I fully committed myself to chasing greatness. That I was in that camp of, I didn't understand the power of discipline. Now, I didn't understand how discipline creates freedom. But it does. And so many people don't see it. They're like, no, discipline is restrictive and isolating and removes all your choice. Yeah, and there's the freedom. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make decisions. Most people get willpower fatigue. They get decision fatigue. And that's when they make bad fucking choices. Because they fatigue out in how they're choosing to do things. They fatigue out in it. If it's already decided, there's no thought process. It creates immense freedom because you don't have to think about it. You just do it. You just show up and do the work. And oftentimes, especially if you've picked the work that's going to impact your life in the right manner, lo and behold, everything in your life gets better. Every aspect of your life improves. Everything starts to go the way you want to. Discipline is the cornerstone of building a life that you are proud of. And one that separates you from others. One that makes you the go-to guy. We talk about it a lot. The bar is on the fucking floor these days. On the goddamn floor when it comes to, well, most things in life. If you work out 3 times a week, puts you in like the top 5%. If you do something like chasing greatness, you are now in a rare fucking category. And that's just a commentary on where we are in society. It is so rare these days for anyone to actually show up and be great. To actually show up and be disciplined. To actually show up and follow through. Like, follow through and discipline and grit are these fucking oddities these days. These rare gifts. And it's one of those ones that I don't think there is a greater gift that you could give your kids, yourself, your family, than discipline. And then pushing yourself through this to create grit, to create determination, to create mental fortitude, especially on the everyday stuff. There's a weird component that comes with it. As I said, it removes overwhelm because there's no thought process. It's just, here we go again, here we go again, here we go again. You don't need to think about it. You just turn up and fucking do it. But it's a game changer on that front. That it takes mental fortitude to do it every single day. No days off. 0 breaks. 0 choice mentality. You know? And it takes a different mindset to be able to do it. Yeah, we start with 6 weeks. 6 weeks is pretty good. It's tough. It's tough. And it's hard to get through it. And you'll achieve incredible things when you do. After that, we go to the next phase, which is 126 days. And for most people, just the idea of 126 days fucks with their head. For some reason, anything beyond 90 days seems like an impossibly long time. But we have to break it down. And here we go again, dealing with overwhelm, dealing with this mental strain. And so how do we break it down? We do it one fucking day at a time. Just one day at a time. You just show up and win today. We don't worry about tomorrow. We don't worry about next week. We don't worry about a month from now, 2 months from now, 4 months from now, a year from now. We worry about today. Can you do the work today? Can you win today? That's the only question. We don't want to have this forever long-lasting horizon point. You just want to be in the moment. And can you do the work here and now to win the day? Yes, no. That's the only question that matters. Can you win today? Yes or no? And if the answer is a resounding fucking yes, well, good. Good. And that's what it takes. And then you get up again, and you do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And the next day. And you just see how many days in a row you can stack together. How many X's on the calendar can you connect? That is your only job. And too often we want to focus on too many things in the future. We want to add too many things. We want to make it overly complex. No, let's keep it simple. Let's stack the 5. Let's make them ingrained. And look, as you progress, I'm not going to lie, we will add things on as we go forward. But past the 5, what we add on will be based on you, where you're at, what you need in your life, what's going to be the most beneficial thing for you. You just start with you in this moment and ingraining them. That's why it's 126 days. That's why, because it takes 126 days to take a negative habit and replace it with a positive habit. So that's what we're doing. That's all we are doing, is we are making it as simple as possible. Not easy. Again, this isn't easy. It's simple. I've often found that the greatest things in life are that way, that they're not easy, but they're fucking simple. And so if you just dial it in, you focus on those things, you focus on winning the day, and that's all you focus on, is that you can win today. And then the next day you do the same thing, and the next day you do the same thing, the next day you do the same thing, and that's all you do. You just focus over and over and over again on winning the day until you get 126 down the road and you're like, this is who I am now. This is what I do. I am a man who does these things. They are ingrained into me. You don't need to think about it on the same level. It doesn't have the same level of overwhelm because it's just who you are. End of story. No questions asked. This is just who you are now. And this is what you do. And that's how you deal with the overwhelm of making such massive changes, because you just do it day in, day out. Make it simple. Ingrain it into who you are. Make it a part of your lifestyle. Make it non-negotiable. No questions asked. This is just what is happening. You're just doing this work. And then one day you'll wake up and be like, holy shit, I did it. I'm a different fucking man than I used to be. And that's when the game changes. And we level up. And we add in the next thing. And then we do the same thing. And you repeat that process over and over and over again. And in a few years from now, you look back and be like, how the fuck did I get here? Because you didn't make it complex, because you didn't try and make it 10 million things all at once. You picked the key things that were going to give you your most bang for your buck, and you followed through, and you just committed to doing them and just winning the day. That is how you make that change. Now, if you are ready to step up, if you're ready to do that work, if you're ready to become that guy and make that change to become the greatest version of yourself, shoot me a message. Let's get you into Chasing Greatness Daily. Let's start that process right here, right now. Now, as always, if you're not quite there yet, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, as always, if this spoke to you, if you enjoyed it, if you know someone else who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button, because it signals to me, it signals to you, it signals to the algorithm that you are serious about making a change. You're serious about receiving the information and the motivation and the tools to transform your life. So hit that subscribe button, because like everything in Chasing Greatness, I will be here every single day, rain, hail, or shine, delivering this to you. And I'll be back again tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Until then.